information. Woohoo! Thank you, Margot, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Margot's favorite thing is public speaking.
As much as I like spiders and snakes, yeah.
This is probably one of the most ambiguous titles we've had. I'll admit, I know as much as you, so I cannot give too much information about what's going to happen right now. But thank you guys for joining, and over to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Deb. Thanks so much for coming. Wow, there's too many people. So I'm guessing you're all very, very curious to know what it's about. So let's get into it. But before I tell you and reveal the big secret, I'm going to ask you to please write down what you think it should be. So if you were standing up here and you had to give a presentation with that title, what would you say the topic is? So can I just do this? Okay, is that everyone? Cool. So is there anyone that would like to pick one from the pile? Anyone? You. So you can have a look, or you can leave it up to
Leave it up to Faith.
Faith, yeah.
Okay.
And then place it back anywhere.
Okay. Okay, read it out loud for us, please.
To know yourself.
To know yourself, I love that. I think I'm also going to pick one. Is this your one? The essay? Okay. Okay. How to position yourself now to have freedom of time, choice, and what to do. Is that yours? Can you elaborate for us on that topic?
Well, I think everybody would like to have a life where you're not hold off, for example, your job, or for example, your job, maybe your boss, whatever. I think everybody in this room would have a life where you just want to do what your heart desires to do. And I believe that whatever you do now is going to reflect where you're going to be in the next 5 years. So if you want to have that life of freedom, and I'm not just talking about just money, but it's about your family. You can have more time with your family, your kids. You can do basically what you love and what you want to do every day, but it all going to come on what you do now. So if you position yourself now, you will have that lifestyle.
Yeah, so it's like a long-term goal. I love that. Awesome. Okay, let me just check the time. We actually can do one more. So I want to pick this triangle one. Okay. So you wrote, sorry, what's your name? Roy. Roy, you got a good sense of humor. Someone who knows the answer to your question. Okay, so we're very eager. And how has that transformed your life? No, I'm joking. Okay, so I can see you want to get to it. Let me not delay. So just to speak to why this is the fundamental truth and why it's so important. So obviously, I think we're all aware technology is propelling the world exponentially, and it's influencing all industries, all aspects of life. Even the way we relate to each other has changed, and not just now with AI, but even in our youngest generations, we may have started with, I think like our generation, Danny, we started with pen pals, right? Yeah. Remember, we used to email our pen pals. Never got back to me, but anyway. And now we stay in touch with people who are maybe a little bit distant from us, maybe physically distant, through sharing memes. That's how we relate to each other. Crazy how things have changed. So the question is, how do we stay ahead? Because it's overwhelming and you just don't want to be left behind. Thank you. Okay, so for the nerds, like myself, I created this little answer for you. It's the formula. It's a statement on JavaScript, And basically it's saying if your life goal is to find happiness, be happy, then curiosity is the key. And if not, this is not for you. You can leave. No, actually, I think even if your life goal is to be bold or to create something innovative, maybe it's not happiness, maybe you want to do something different with your life, curiosity, I think, is still the key. And I will say why. So, I believe remaining curious is what is going to keep us in the loop with the change, ahead of things. And I think it's quite amazing that you're all here because of curiosity. So I created the clickbait thing because it sort of initiated that curiosity in you. And the fact that you're all here means you're curious enough to know. And that's a good thing. So it means you already have it. It's not something you have to buy or have a coupon for or call this number right now for a discount. You have it, and the importance is developing that skill, growing that skill into something more. And just to illustrate the power of curiosity, if you think of kids, maybe you've got a kid, maybe you've got kids in your family, or you can remember back when you were a child, you were so incredibly curious about everything, asking a million questions, and look how quickly a newborn goes to the teenage years and to an adult, that exponential curve. And that is the curve that we're facing right now in technology. There's this exponential curve. So how do we stay ahead? We channel that curiosity that we had when we were children. I think for some reason when we become adults, we forget about that, about the importance of curiosity. And then to speak further to the power of curiosity, I challenge you now to just contemplate for a minute what your life and what the world would look like without curiosity. Imagine you never ever asked a question. Imagine you never ever cared about anything. No wondering, no curiosity. I don't think there can be what we have today without curiosity. So it is actually such a powerful tool. Excuse me, guys. Next one. So how does it impact these amazing tiers of our life? In your personal life, it strengthens relationships. So think about when you start seeing someone new, or back when you met your husband or wife, how exciting it felt and how connected you felt to that person because they were so curious about you and you were so curious about them. That's that connection that curiosity can create. And in our lives, as we go further and develop new relationships, we can become curious with people who we would like to connect with, or even with people that we've known for so many years and think we know everything about. And that can create what we call mutual vulnerability. So when we become curious and don't have judgment, then it opens the space of safety and security to share and connect. And then in business and career, absolutely every innovation, the chair, the fire that the caveman created, Einstein's theory of relativity, Elon Musk, who's doing crazy things right now, absolutely everything started with curiosity. And if you want to succeed in business, if you want to grow your network, curiosity can help you achieve that. Because why do businesses succeed? Is because someone was curious about the product. Can this work? How far can I take this? It's the core of innovation. And then personal growth, and I think that speaks to what you said. Yes, and yeah, both of you actually. Getting to know yourself, because the questions you ask today shape your future. That's a powerful statement, because if you're not asking yourself questions now, what do I want? Who do I want to be? What do I want my life to look like? What do I want to spend my money on? How do I want to grow my children up? If you're not asking yourself those questions, if you're not curious about your own life, that will translate to where your future's going with a lack of direction, and life will just happen to you then. So the deeper your connection with yourself, the better you can align with your own values and take your life forward. Okay. Amazing. Cool. What now? Thank you. It's simple, and I think we all know this already. It's not anything new, but I think asking more questions. And it's transformed my life, because not so long ago, I thought back to a version of myself that was just kind of inspiring to me. And I think it's important to have that with yourself. Think back to things you've done, or a version of you where in some way you inspire yourself. And I asked myself, how can I channel that version of myself before I lost a piece of me going into adulthood? And just through asking those questions, it's led me closer and closer and closer to who I like in myself and who I want to align myself with in terms of the timeline of who I've been. And that's just from asking more questions. And then listening to understand, and then listen some more. So this relates more to others. So if you're asking questions to others, you might think you understand, but I challenge you to ask just 1 or 2 extra questions, because you'll be surprised what comes from that. And then adopt a beginner's mindset. So there's something to be said about humility in life. And when I know I'm guilty of this, I obsess over a certain topic. Then I learn everything I can about that topic. Right now it's gym. and then as soon as I have anyone that wants to just give me a minute to word vomit everything that I've learned, then I just speak way too much. And I've learned, and I'm still learning, to adopt a beginner's mindset, a sense of humility, and maybe not assume that I know everything about everything. And I'm always surprised at what I hear from another person, what comes from it. And then I'm like, oh, let me learn more about that. Then I go into the obsessive little hole again. So can you go to the next one? Okay, so your challenge, homework. Think of someone you don't know well. Okay, it doesn't even need to be someone you don't know well. It could be your wife of 50 years that you wake up next to every day, who nags at you for doing all the wrong things. And ask that person a meaningful question. And maybe an example, if you know the person, ask them, what is it that you think I don't know about you, even after all these years? And why do you think it's important that I know that? And I think it will be amazing to see what comes out of that. And then obviously listening to them. And yeah, next one. And that's it. So it wasn't anything profound. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Do you have any questions?
You say ask many questions, but how do you decide on one, to focus on? You said you get obsessed on
Yes.
the topic,
Yes.
but not get lost in 30 questions.
I think there's just no wrong questions. And the more questions you ask, I think the better you'll get at asking questions. Because you'll get an answer and then you'll be like, oh, that's not really what I wanted to. It's like with ChatGPT. You'll ask ChatGPT, please do this thing for me. And then it brings up the wrong thing. Once it just I was asking it to help me with code, and it gave me a picture of a dragon, and I was like, what the hell? And then I realized you need to prompt it better. You need to frame your question better. And so you learn that just by trial and error. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Cool. Anyone else? Anyone want to share something? Cool, thank you so much. And there's lemon loaf. I didn't realize so many people would come. So just to say thank you for attending and for your time and showing your curiosity. There's a little treat for you. It's gluten-free, sugar-free, so yeah, just ask me if you're allergic to anything and I'll tell you.